So ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this right here is Zimbabwean-born pastor, Pastor Solomon Mhlanga, and his son Enoch, who just got handed life in prison in South Africa because they carried out a kind of punishment that even medieval executioners would look at and say, guys, relax, this is now over time. So it so happened that in March of 2024, you see this guy, a church member called Dumisani Mahlangu, 31 years old, was just minding his business, walking along Krumdry Road in Emalahleni. Next thing, a whole pastor, his son and his wife Poppy pulled up like they were auditioning for an action movie. They accused him of stealing church batteries. Bro, batteries, not tight money. They didn't ask questions. They pointed a gun at him, forced him into a bakkie, tied his hands and feet like they were packaging for a goat slaughter, and drove away. First, they took him to the church building, probably where they thought it was their crime scene. They beat him there thoroughly, then took him deeper into the bush, cut a tree branch, placed his hands on the tree branch like it was a chopping board, and used the machete to cut off both his hands. The brutality. Even the Bible would say, this is not the kind of laying on of hands we teach. After chopping off his hands, they left him for dead. Dumisani survived only because some woodcutters found him. They rushed him for help, but doctors couldn't save his hands. Now he's permanently disabled, needs help with basic things, and his whole life changed from that moment. So after that, a police report was made which led to the arrest. Fast forward to today's court date, he testified, medical experts testified, and the magistrate didn't play games. On 21 November 2025, the court found all three guilty of attempted murder, kidnapping, and defeating the ends of justice. The magistrate said this wasn't discipline, it wasn't even church justice, it was cold, calculated attack. They showed zero mercy while he was begging them to stop. According to court evidence, Pastor Solomon, 66 years old but moving like a mafia boss, was the mastermind. His son Enoch, just 21, helped overpower, transport, tie, and hold down the victim. Poppy, the wife to Enoch, didn't swing the blade, but she made sure Mahlangu was tied up so he couldn't escape. Like the whole family sat down and decided, yes, this is the plan. Madness. So on 24 November 2025, the hammer dropped. Solomon and Enoch were given life imprisonment. Poppy just got 3 years for kidnapping. The court said loud and clear, this is vigilante nonsense. It ends here. Even if you're a pastor, your collar won't save you when you start acting like a warlord.
United States tables no bill to punish South Africa. As expected, and frankly speaking, I'm not surprised. I mean, under Donald Trump, United States has become a very predictable nation. And it's understandable because the global influence of the United States is declining at a very fast rate. But I digress. Let me read from the article. According to the report here, a U.S. Senator John Kennedy has introduced a new bill to renew the African Growth and Opportunity Act for 2 years, but explicitly excluding South Africa, flatly excluding South Africa. The bill argues that the African Growth and Opportunity Act should benefit African countries that support U.S. interests and not those that aligned with China or Russia. It also demands a full review of U.S.-South Africa relations and potential sanction on ANC officials, and also a presidential certification on whether South Africa undermines U.S. national security. So any country that disagrees with the United States government undermines the U.S. national security. But I digress. This is the third Republican push to penalize South Africa for its foreign policy stance. So the problem here is that the United States government is not happy because of South African foreign policy stance. As we all know, South Africa is a member of BRICS organization, and that organization is seriously considered as a threat by the US government. So every member of that organization, particularly the 5 core members, the original members of that organization, they are considered adversaries of the United States. So if the US government is not attacking China today, the US government is attacking Russia or Brazil or South Africa or India. It's a pattern. If you understand the pattern recognition, you will understand what I'm talking about. The US government is following a pattern here. Okay? But it's clear. It's clear, and it should be a wake-up call for the United States government. Unfortunately, the United States government cannot read the room. Only if the United States can read the room, they will understand that the world is moving closer and closer to multilateralism. Countries around the world, the leaders around the world are tired of the United States government policing them around, sanctioning them unnecessarily, using their military power to threaten countries around the world. Imagine threatening to send troops to Nigeria without proper investigation. Imagine threatening to send troops to Venezuela because of the US obsession with resources in Venezuela and their obsession to control the American hemisphere is unfortunate, but I'm not in the position to judge. I'm just saying South Africa must not give in. The moment you give in to the United States, Trump will celebrate that as a victory. Yes, the moment you give in, Trump will celebrate that as a victory. So stand on your ground, South Africans and the government of South Africa. May God be with you guys.
Kat Matlala just threw everybody under the bus. In fact, not just the bus, the whole company, a whole bus fleet worth of golden arrows. He spoke to Ad Hoc from prison in full Burberry and chains, and there are so many massive headlines. Here's what you need to know. Firstly, Kat Matlala claimed that Becky Cele lied under oath. You'll remember that Cele went before Ad Hoc and said that he was keeping Kat Matlala around to get information from Kat Matlala. Matlala said that was a lie, and actually Cele was giving him information, Kat Matlala, in exchange for money favors, 300,000 Rand in one instance, and then another 200,000 Rand, also for other favors like driving Cele and his wife to a wedding, letting them stay in Kat Matlala's penthouse suite in Pretoria. Matlala claims that he's just the victim of an extortion battle between different factions within the police. On the one side, Becky Cele and his compadres extracting money from Matlala in exchange for favors, and on the other side, Senzo Ntunu and Brown Makhotsi's faction doing the same. Matlala claims that all of the arrests against him, the arrests on him in the raids, were just stitch-ups. The second he stopped taking their calls, the second he stopped paying off money, suddenly he was being raided, suddenly he was being arrested, suddenly he's on trial for very bad things like the alleged attempted of his ex, Tebogo Tobiane. And he says that every time he then started making payments again to one side or another, he would get firearms back. The harassment by the police on him would stop mysteriously and go away. Charges and other threats on his family would disappear. He says he's just the victim of everyone knowing that he has a lot of money because he won a bunch of really big contracts like that 360 million Rand SAPS healthcare services provision on the back of allegations about him being connected to Tembisa Hospital. And because everyone knew he had a lot of money, they all just came to extort him, and if he did not play along with them, they would send the police to rain down consequences against him. We're going to tell you the full story of all that you need to know on the Quarter Report, coming out in just an hour and a half or so's time. But for now, that's all you need to know. Watch out for us dropping the show on that other red long-form video app in just a little while.
Those of you who guessed it, you guessed correctly. Collins Letswalo, the CEO of RAF, or former CEO of RAF, did not show up in Parliament. He did not show up in Parliament on Tuesday, nor did he show up today on Wednesday. And he was given until 12 p.m. exactly on the dot. And he was no show. And then he goes on SABC to actually say that the reason why he's not going to show up at Parliament is because he says that the chairperson of the SCOPA, which is Songezo Zepi, he says that he cannot agree with the fact that Zepi is the elector, the adjudicator and the judge all in one. He says it's not really quite fair. This is after Parliament also said that they struggled to find him, they struggled to actually send him these summons, and they struggled to actually get confirmation from him or any type of communication from Letswalo. Letswalo then further said that, you know what, I was never missing, you guys were always the problem. This is what's next. SCOPA is going to go forward with the criminal procedures and criminal prosecutions against Letswalo. Not only did he not adhere to the summons, but he's still under investigations or oversight investigations by Parliament, and which they're stating that they actually have the legal grounds to question Letswalo. So that's that. But what are you guys thinking? Do you guys think the criminal charges will stick? Do you guys think that he will fight these prosecutions by Parliament? Tell me your thoughts. Yeah.
Did the government wait until after the G20 to make all of this public? Yes, I think so. So the first point I want to highlight is 4 men were also arrested for robbing Vietnamese delegates of their phones and other belongings in Sandton. Now this happened during the G20. And then today, headlines, 13 people have been arrested for crimes linked to G20 Leaders Summit. So despite months of planning, road closures to ultimately test these maneuvers, they were unable to prove South Africa's statistics wrong that there is not a high crime rate going on in the country. Despite actually controlling the roads and access, stuff like this was still able to happen during the G20. Just to refresh your memory headlines, Stats SA's crime service shows South Africa's crime crisis is worsening. Now, what message does this actually send to countries worldwide?
South Africa will not receive an invitation to next year's G20 summit in Miami, Florida. In a a statement made by the Commander-in-Chief of the United States, President Donald Trump, the president stated that due to the horrific human rights abuses which are happening to our brothers and sisters of Afrikaner descent, as well as the fact that we refuse to give the presidency of the G20 over to the next year's hosts, which are the USA, and we refuse to give it to a charge d'affaires, who a senior member of the United States Embassy. They have then decided that we will not be given an invitation to the G20 summit. Now, it must be made very clear, ladies and gentlemen, that South Africa is not just an observer or like a battler or a cleaner in the G20. We are full members of the G20. We are permanent members, if anything. That's like being told that you are not allowed to go to a birthday party. That time you paid for the foundation and the bricks, get it, of the house where the party is being made, which is bizarre to me. But anyway, we're going to see what's going to happen next. I will try in the very least and keep you updated, because ziyakhala manje. This has been Mashed Potatoes here from Pretoria.
This house has harbored pastors, it has harbored orphans, but today it's being demolished. All the things we have bought are being demolished. We have nowhere to go. We have nowhere to go today. This is the reality of our lives right now. Hungry